Hello, good evening, SC viewers. If you are new to the channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and do not forget to hit the notification bell. Mr. Chinedu Michael, we learned that the protests that rocked Nigeria, major cities in Nigeria yesterday, talking about Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, and all other major cities in Nigeria. The herdsmen virtually invaded the protest ground and chased people away. This
is everybody was surprised. We don't know actually whether the herdsmen actually misdirection or misroad. From running from one safe point to another. But we saw it play out very clearly that the herdsmen and the protesters and even the police, everybody was on the road yesterday. There was clashes. They don't know where to start from, and unfortunately, this happens somewhere in Nigeria, where we have a city that is very close to government, to the power. Well, that keeps us at this point in time. It looks like Nigerians are strongly standing up against anything that has to do with herdsmen. It surprises me.
Rather, is herdsmen now an official security agency in Nigeria?
I don't know. That's what the question was thrown everywhere. And it becomes a mystery to Nigerians, and of course the protesters themselves and those who organize the protest. How come all of a sudden herdsmen ran into them? Everything went into a kind of a chaos situation. We don't know whether they are going to tackle the police who are against the strike. We don't know whether the protesters are actually going to carry out the protest. But it tells you that what is going on is herdsmen, protesters, police clash. That's the basic.
And even the police equally use tear gas to disperse protesters in Port Harcourt and in Abuja.
Yes, this one is that what will land, But a lot of people, I think you can see the nature the whole thing is going. Me, I am not against protest, and I'm against police using force, brutality to muzzle down or to stop anything that has to do with protest. Sowore and the rest of them Take Back Nigeria should be commended anyway. Let me put that way. But looking at it the other side, what is actually the impact of this protest on Nigeria? I think there should be another angle to coming out to protest on issues that are directly affecting the masses.
But Mr. Chinedu, I think the bottom line is this is a cyber crime. There's police angle of using it to harm Nigerians, abusing that act or that law. That informed the protest. And again, the issue of state of emergency, that the president do not have right to impose the emergency. Those are two major issues that instigated.
Yes, but out of 4,000 civil society organizations in Nigeria, why is it that we are only seeing this Take It Back Nigeria or whatever, Take Back Nigeria or whatever it is? And what is this?
Maybe they actually want to take Nigeria back.
No, I'm looking at the significance of the impact of the protest always. This is not the first time we saw the hunger strike. Has the hunger stopped? Has government been able to change their policies? We've seen another one, cybercrime or whatever. Okay, and agreed. You have alerted the world. But I think we wanted to see a situation where the Nigerian Labour Congress is joining, National Union is joining, TUC is joining, Pengasin, everybody, all the labor union,
to bring the necessary pressure on government.
That is nothing. That's nothing. You understand? So it makes me everything. Okay, look at when you talk about protests in Nigeria. Now, what they tell you? The Northern youth has already distanced themselves. They're no longer interested. Of course, the Biafrans, the Igbos themselves, know fully well that it is no go area or on their own side. Considering the sentiment that they have against Igbos when it comes to any issue that has to do with protests of this kind, especially when it's being tailored against this kind of people we are having in Abuja currently now. And that is one of the reasons why maybe possibly the herdsmen were deployed by some elements or some forces that felt that it's an opportunity to still register the presence of herdsmen. That herdsmen, Fulani herdsmen are capable to disrupt anything in Nigeria, and that's what they are trying to pass.
In fairness to Northern youth for boycotting protests, because the other time they engaged in protests, we saw some minors arrested and in court, a situation that made the whole world to start reacting. and some of them were being charged for treason and all that. Don't you think that is the reason they would have advised themselves that no need to participate?
No, that is not the reason. It's just that it was not. They did not act in a fair way of carrying out some level of process. Some of them brought vengeance, party vengeance into it. Some of them brought some kind of sentiment into it. Some of them also brought, before that protest also, there was this issue of Niger government trying to invade Niger, Niger, and Niger interest in the north, coupled with the Russian influence within the Sahel region too, So those are the things that those are the sentiment that was actually playing us at that particular time. But that is not the reason why, so some of them, they were apprehended at that level. Remember that the arrest of those youths as at that time was because one, they were holding a Russian flag or whatever. That was the sentiment that was built around it by the government and all that. But what we are saying is that the North seem to have a foot. They don't have that interest. The foot drag, or how would I put it? They have certain reservation when it comes to going against any of their interest in a form of protest. And because of the kind of system and culture and tradition they operate, they pledge their allegiance and their loyalty to one single person. So anything that person says or does or do because it places others at that regard. So what I'm saying is that is not the real reason why the entire northern state should step aside. And remember too that this is APC government. They have certain influence within the governors of the APC in the north.
Okay, now looking at the reason the southeastern youth always stand aloof and avoid protests, because we understand that anytime they are involved, they will kind of try to stereotype and maybe blackmail that it is an Igbo thing. Don't you think that justified to stay away?
Yeah, no. Apart from that, there is this injustice and gang up against anything that has to do with Eastern region in Nigeria. It has been there for a very long time, and it has been on and on and on and on and on, and it became very significant.
But I don't think Igbos are justified to stay away.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, because what I'm saying. The reason. One of the reasons Igbos have more investment than any tribe in Nigeria, as I'm taking to you. And if there's anything that goes completely, if there's any breakdown of law and order, Igbo businesses are being targeted. And these are people who are not connected to government investment. These are people who individually, build their business structure, build their businesses to the level where they feel that they have gotten to. And all those who want to still move forward in advancement, they carry on. So imagine a situation just because of one single government policy that has nothing, the direct effect on the government itself, or the people. Somebody will just emerge from nowhere and not something because of envy or whatever reservation and light up the whole place.
And don't show that they are justified to stay away from
that is on the other side. 2, the perceived marginalization. 3, the denial of Igbo's electoral strength in Nigeria. 4, the issue of P2B is also a factor. It is now that the Northerners are coming out to claim that P2B actually won that election. Sorry, RFI came out and said that P2B actually won that election. Just recently, is it now that coming out to tell the whole world that Obi actually won the election as at that time? So if you look at all these things, look at the issue when the Igbos wanted to vote here in Lagos. You saw what played out. Millions of thugs were unleashed on the Igbo businesses and voters and electors. You can understand that. So it has gotten to a point that the Igbos are actually now understanding Nigeria. It is only Nigeria that cannot understand the Igbos, but Igbos have come to a point that they have now understand Nigeria in total. So they know at every point in time which step to take, either right or left. And you can see for some time now.
So it's like cat and mouse game.
Of course, it's been recognized everywhere between the Yorubas and the Northerners. They recognize this sentiment very clearly. There's no doubt about that. Anybody that's telling you that does not stand the truth. But the truth remains that this is what we see on daily basis. Okay, look at the recent appointment of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You can see how everywhere is Yoruba, every corner is Yoruba. Even when they pleaded on him to appoint an Igbo NNPC limited boss. You know, you see,
But beyond Yorubas, they're even saying it's Lagos dynasty that is holding the hotel.
of course, no. Now they understand that Tinubu want to break the country. That's what the Northerners are saying now. That's why he's making sure that in all the powerful sectors, ministries, agencies in Nigeria, that the Yorubas are occupying them. It's a sign of Odua nation.
But I don't think they're not to fight back in due course.
The North is want to see how they are going to romance the Easterners now, but the Easterners are very careful over the plot to bring an Easterner as president to come to support that agenda, and that is why the SDP is dragging Obi. A lot of them are dragging these things into different directions. Some are saying that Atiku should step aside, and which I support, and it is not the turn of the North. They should understand, So those are the things those are the power play that is gradually, going on, and the North is trying to see how they can be able to strengthen the already crooked relationship.
But this is a good marriage. You think this marriage will work?
No, it cannot work. I can tell you in honest truth, you understand. It is going to be a cosmetic one. The marriage is not meant to last. That's the truth, but we are just looking at the situation as it stands now, and what is going to the story that will come thereafter.
But ultimately, with the marriage, yield the results.
That's what I'm saying now. If the North is trying to look towards that direction on the issue of Biafra, that one is not go area. On the issue of marginalization, on the issue of Igbos being denied federal presence, and some other things that are involved, restructuring and others. The North is already seeing the Yorubas as a threat, as a burden, as a failure.
Okay, now let me bring this angle. Perhaps the North want to divorce their Yoruba partner, because we understand that they have always been partner before. When they want to divorce them and have a new marriage with the Igbos.
The no marriage is not going to be a normal marriage. It has to be a court marriage.
You need to divorce
the Yorubas, the Hausas and the Igbos have to go to court. It's not going to be normal.
But before they marry Igbo, do you think they need to divorce the Yoruba?
No, excuse me. Just, the thing is that there will be diversion of attention, but they are not divorcing the Yorubas because of the chemistry that's already existing between these two ethnic nationalities. There's a chemistry, there's no doubt, and that chemistry is tied to religion. I must tell you that is the truth, and that is the factor. That is what they are using always when they want to go against some certain interests in the country. But now they have tested, and it happens that this man has become one of the worst.
Mr. Asif, you can clearly see some Northerners who have made mockery of the Muslim ticket, that
a lot of them are saying
what they thought they wanted to achieve and make the political class that they failed in achieving.
Why didn't they not achieve it? There was something that made them not achieve.
Some of them said that, according to a man online, that during that campaign, that they were saying that Muslim ticket will help to advance Islam in Nigeria. That surprisingly, it have not yielded that.
You can see at that minute, even immediately Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into power, you can see the agenda of Islamization, you can see the northern agenda, you can see the Fulanization, you can see all elements of Islamization. But we heard it from the horse's mouth, the Sultan of Sokoto coming out and saying it's very clear that if not the Igbos, they would have overrun Nigeria with Islam. So what does that tell you? That even at that point, they still insist to this moment I'm talking to you that Yoruba land must fall under Islam.
Could that be the reason we recently start seeing Sharia arbitration panel, Sharia law coming up in the Southwest?
Arbitration and all the rest of them, now they are trying to fraternize anything that has to do with Muslim, religion in the southwest. You know, unfortunately, because people are the fear of extremism coming into the southwest is also a threat to the Igbo, you know, the Easterners, the Biafrans, because they know, everybody knows that, of course, is the red line. And with the condemnation of Biafran Christian killings in Nigeria from United States of America has already shut down anything that has to do with the rise of continuous advancement of that sentiment, either through imposition of politicians who are loyal to Fulanis. I can tell you look at it very well. Out of 19 states in the north, 15 or thereabout governors in the north currently now are Fulanis.
That is serious.
There's no Hausa man. There is no Hausa man that is a governor in the north currently.
I saw the frustration of a lady in the north who said in Kano, in Katsina in particular, that it's purely Hausa community. Versus I bet that she have never seen an Hausa governor in that state.
I think the Nnamdi Kanu is trending already in the north now. A lot of Nnamdi Kanu's video is being played out in the north. The Hausas are listening. It has become a national anthem in the north, you know, currently now, because Nnamdi Kanu saw it and was able to put it to Nigerians as at that time that this is what is coming and that what has come. And they came to understand that. I wouldn't say lately, but I can tell you that the Hausas has been conquered by the Fulanis. You know, like I mentioned now, there's no governor that's in the entire northern part of the country that is an Hausa man. There is no emir in the north that is an Hausa man. There is no general in the army or police that has held the position of chief or thereabout, name them and all. Even Kwakwaso is an.
So how long will this bondage continue?
Well, the bondage will continue until Biafra become a sovereign nation. It is only Biafra that will solve that problem. That will solve
that. The panacea.
Yes, and that's the truth. Because if you see what is happening in Abia State now, currently now, immediately that the structure of security was handed over to ESN in Abia State, all the whole plan needs to disappear. That is the picture. That is the truth. That's what is playing out currently now. And that is the understanding of the Fulani man. In as much as the Sultan of Sokoto can come out and say clearly that, you know, and without the Igbos, Islamization would have taken off. Imagine what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu went through when there is Obama factor, there is Biden factor, there is Buhari factor, there is a Tinubu factor, there is Sultan of Sokoto factor, there is another factor in what happened in Kenya. Even it is being believed too, they are in the same people, because they are in government, are in struggle to what happened to Simon Ekpa or what is happening to Simon Ekpa in Finland. But unfortunately, Simon Ekpa is smarter than all of them. He's there doing what he knows how to do, how to do best. As simple as that. So the entire structure has been understood to mean that, you know, outside Igbos, the Yorubas has fallen to the issue of Islamization, and unfortunately they came to accept it. But Igbos has seen that already as a red line, and I can tell you that the Fulanis, Herdsmen, whatever they call themselves, understand that very clearly.
Conclusively, what is your advice to Igbo leaders? Because the other time, Nnamdi Kanu lamented that they lack leadership, perhaps because he is not there out.
No, of course. That's the fear. I think there is an emergency meeting going on among the Eastern governors in case Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being released. You know, channels of diplomatic approach is being opened up. You know, crowd control, a lot of things, security, how they are going to handle that issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at the end of the day. The Eastern governors, and not only the Eastern governors, the South governors also are involved in the meeting on how to handle situation when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu finally comes out, because his law is going to
have expressed confidence.
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is coming out. You know, even if it doesn't come out, the case is adjourned, but I know that he's going to be released very soon.
But what I'm saying, he spoke through the Igbo community leader in Abuja.
Yes, when the FCT Igbos leaders or Hanese leaders there or wherever paid him a court civil, he told them very clearly that he's coming out and he'll be released soon. You know, let us see what James Omoto is going to do at the end of the day. But for that to have come from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu out, that's why that is the essence of the emergency meeting that I'm trying to tell you that's already going on within the eastern part of the country, so that everybody will know, because Nnamdi Kanu is going to dwarf every influence that any Northerner is going to have in.
But remember that Nnamdi Kanu made it very clear the other time that he's ready to remain in detention until there's a impartial judge to adjudicate his case with federal government.
Bro,
now we have seen Nnamdi Kanu come out clearly to say yes and confident.